Hopefully, this lets me cut the early part of this video. Hello, and welcome to Amateur Handicapping. I'm not sure what I'm going to call myself yet. I'm not sure if this is going to go on the YouTube channel I'm currently using or if this is going to go on a different channel. But essentially, I've been seeing a lot of videos, a lot of different people, handicapping different races, and I thought I'll give a shot at this. Give my opinions, my strategies, my hunches and theories on the entire thing, and just talk through some good old-fashioned thoroughbred handicapping. See if I get some stuff right, see what I get wrong. Today we will be looking at the 2025 Black-Eyed Susan Grade 2 at Pimlico, which will be this Friday, post time 5:54, mile and an eighth on dirt, 4 3-year-old fillies. And you can see we have 9 entries. And so what I'll do is I will go through each entry. I will look at pedigree, trainer, jockey, previous results, go through the pedigree a little bit. A lot of it I can pretty much discern as I look through pretty quickly, but I will try to explain in different reasonings that I have while I am going through and why I would pick one horse over a different horse, or why I would bury one and not consider it for a trifecta or for a place or a show or a win. I'll just try to explain with my reasoning as I go. Which this should be easy. I like talking to myself a lot, so let's go. Let's get started with post 1. Out of 9, Liam in the Dust. Already, Liam's map kids do not always fill me with confidence. He's also got a broodmare sire to Bernardini. That is not my favorite AP Indy line. I really like AP Indy, but I don't like his sires that much. Like, I don't like his stallions out of AP Indy, because I know Bernardini's one and Tappett's one of them. No, Tappet is like is AP Indy's grandsire to Tappet, I think. We'll find out later. Who knows? I might be completely wrong. In general, Bernardini is not my favorite AP Indy line. I do want to double check that real quick. Make sure I'm not wrong about that. Always got to specify. Just want to make sure I'm right about that. Okay, yes, Pulpit, Tappet, Pulpit, AP Indy. I like the pedigree. I just don't like Bernardini, and I don't like Tappet. And Pulpit, for that matter, is not my favorite horse either. So let's just take a look at winning distances here and races this horse has run. You can see pretty good first couple of races, and this weekend at Pimlico it's going to be harder to discern if there is a horse, the angle of what they call horse for course, because Pimlico is only running this weekend. They're going to be shut down and remodeled. So it's going to be hard to find horses that have run here before to know whether or not they might have a knack for this specific track. So that will make things a little bit harder. Do notice this horse does have a tendency to spit some inconsistent finishes, but overall remains fast. Now, let's see. The Alcibiades G1 2024. He did finish 7th in that at a similar distance. That's in Keeneland. Another eighth place at a Aqueduct Mile race and stakes race there. Lost to Drexel Hill and Amerith. Now I did see Amerith is also on this card, which is interesting. I do believe Velasquez is riding. Yes, Velasquez. Uh, I like John R. Velasquez. Good jockey. Not sure I like the horse. I think I will keep this one in consideration for a trifecta. He does show some strong results at similar distances. His one start at this distance was a third at Aqueduct in a Grade 2 race, so assumedly a similar class. Has faced tougher classes before, second to Lucara. But I'm just not seeing the consistency. I'm not seeing the pedigree that I usually like to pick. I can see this horse hitting the board, though. Definitely, what are the current odds for this horse? Let me check. 6-1? I could see that. I would maybe have her at 8-1. Who knows how the money line will change and shift closer to time. I think this is a good horse. I hope my mouse isn't like glitching out all over the place. The screen recorder, I might need to change something. There's one more thing just gonna mark down on my notes. I always like to write down what I see. That way, when I get the day of stats on Twin Spires or from another betting site, I can compare it to what I've already looked at, and it saves me a little bit of time and gives me a little bit more data than what I maybe am not thinking about, or maybe something I missed that I'm not seeing originally. So, where's Liam's map? Velaz, my abbreviation for Velasquez. Third at distance. Run higher classes. But I'm not seeing the wins. Try consideration. Yes, try consideration for this one. Like I said, Liam's map, not my favorite sire. Bernardini is not this pedigree is just like I would usually bury this pretty fast, but I'm gonna try to give every horse a shot. Just seems to get beat by the best of the best. When they show up, she does get beat, and I know I don't remember if I saw Drexel Hill in this lineup. I know Amerith is in this lineup, so we're probably going to end up burying this horse in the final finishing order. She will probably not make the trifecta, but this is only horse one. So let's see what we get with post number 2. 15-1, Princess Alia out of Into Mischief. D. Wayne Lucas. Interesting. What does it tell me? Does not tell me what color her coat is. I do believe, though, that this horse picked me up a win last time she ran. Let me see. No, she did not. Where did I see her name before? Let me look at something on my phone real quick, and I will see if I can find where I've heard of this horse. I think I've got her confused with maybe Oaklawn. I think this Oaklawn Mile, maybe. I'm sure I will find it. Yes, I bet it's Oaklawn. Yes. Yes, this horse did pick me up a win in the Valley of the Vapors Stakes at Oaklawn in April. And what was the payout? The payout was pretty good. I do believe, yeah. Oh, if it's a D. Wayne Lucas, it was almost definitely ridden by Nick Juarez. What I don't like to see in this pedigree right here, I don't like to see Into Mischief. Into Mischief is notoriously a sprinting sire. So anything past 8 furlong, I don't trust. I don't trust his kids. Now, it is True Sovereignty, the Kentucky Derby winner this year, was out of Into Mischief I have not looked at his pedigree in a while to remind myself of how he maybe found that distance. And also a pretty good ride by Junior Alvarado. Naturally, that ride coming under a little bit of controversy due to his strike overuse. But I digress. I think Sovereignty is a really good horse, but naturally I bury Into Mischiefs anyway. It also looks like this horse is suffering from a little bit of Dwayne Lucas syndrome. Dwayne Lucas has a tendency to push his horses really hard, and they run frequently. Sometimes this is a good thing, and sometimes it's to their detriment, and sometimes it's not. I don't know if I like the results that I'm seeing from her, like 2 starts at the closest distance that matches the race. This horse seems like she would perform better, a little bit better, uh, in some maiden special weight allowance claiming races. What I really don't like to see is I don't like to see here in the Fantasy G2, I don't like to see that she's 6th, and I don't like to see that she's 10th in these higher classes. That means she struggles. When the races get bigger, this horse tends to struggle. I don't know if I like to see that. I don't like the pedigree. I think Dwayne Lucas will have like 1 or 2 wins this weekend. I don't think this horse is going to do it for him. Unfortunately, I think this horse is going to get buried. Let's just write that down. Into Mischief, Dwayne does not like higher classes. So probably not going to be considering this one to win. However, Dwayne Lucas is known to have magic at Pimlico. So if she were to win, I would not be shocked. All right, post number 3, the 3-1 Margie's Intention. Naturally, Brad Cox, Flavian Pratt, 2 of the best at their respective positions in the business. No surprise that this horse is going off at 3-1. So let's look at this horse and see what we got. I do like, if I had to pick like a sire line from AP Indy, I do like Honor Code more so than I like Pulpit or Bernardini. I do like Honor Code a little bit more. That's just a personal preference. What I don't like to see is I do not like to see Into Mischief as the Broodmare sire. Not many starts for this horse. I will say I think this horse is promising. I do want to look at the sire real quick. My only concern is this is a class. This would be what I consider a class race for this horse. However, for a horse that's raising class, you could not ask for a better combo than Flavian Pratt and Brad Cox to get that horse through. So class raise, Cox Pratt combo, but Into Mischief Kid. I do want to take a look at the. I do like the result. The results here I see are promising. Second in a mile 70 yards. Second and a mile in what I would assume is a little higher class. 2 wins at a mile. Only a 4th at the only start under a mile. So maybe this horse does have some route running in her, perhaps. I do want to take a look at this pedigree a little bit more compared to the other two because I'm not as familiar with Honor AP, even though I prefer him more than I like some of the other horses. Just want to look at his starts. I do like the fact he has Santa Anita Derby win 2020, second in San Felipe, second in the Shared Belief Stakes Del Mar, 4th in the Kentucky Derby, which is mile and a quarter. There's overall very consistent results. Now, sometimes Horse Racing Nation doesn't have every result that you want, but sometimes you don't necessarily need every result. I will use Equibase if I can't find results for certain horses. I do want to take a look at this dam real quick. Playful Dancer. Was she raced? Probably not. I think I will open Equibase and see if I can spell. I don't think I can spell. Yes. We'll open Equibase and take a look at this. But given that I'm seeing a lot of add data here, I'm going to assume she probably wasn't raced. Still, don't like to see the Into Mischief, but I will say there's promise. Into Mischief is only one part of the pedigree. There is indicators that this horse could go the distance, of higher distance, of greater distance. It's like if I trust anybody, I trust Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt to get it done. I like that horse at 3-1. I think that horse deserves to be at 3-1, maybe 5-1. But we'll see what else we got. Post 4, Running and Gunning. Steve Asmussen, obviously very successful. Jose Ortiz, I'm just going to mark that. The Ass Man, which is ironic considering I think he has the most wins in North America ever. But some people I know, I'm gonna chat with some people who we just call him Ass Man. Saves us typing. So let's see what we got with Running and Gunning. Empire Maker's always welcome. Interesting. AP Indy here on the pedigree. I like to see that. I like to see Gunrunner because Gunrunner goes back to Candy Ride. And it also gets some Giants Causeway blood through his dam. So I like to see Gunrunner. Empire Maker. Not the worst unbridled kid. I like Empire Maker. I really find it interesting AP Indy is here. I think it's really interesting that he is, that would be the Grand Dam Sire. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Please, the interaction will probably help this video. I hope. Well, let's see what we got here in terms of results. Rocky start. Winning a mile. I would assume that's at that's at Indiana Downs. Interesting. Third in the Fantasy G2. Quiet Side and Simply Joking. That's at a mile and a 16th. Her 3 wins are at what I would call weaker tracks in terms of the overall quality of the horse. I do like the pedigree. I like the pedigree. I like the Ass Man Jose combo. I don't know if this horse will win, but I could see this horse hitting the board. I'll put her in try pick. There's a lot to like about this horse. There's also a lot you have to check, like class and speed figures. Her speed figures might be a little bit low for this level of a race. But I haven't necessarily figured out how speed figures factor into some stuff. So I'm still learning as I do this. And this is an opportunity for everybody to learn. I do want to take... Was this a raced mare here? Okay. Okay, so she didn't like going really long. You can see... Oh, are those French races? I think they are. Interesting. I do like the fact that at a mile and a quarter, this horse put up a fight. This is a turf mare, though. This horse ran turf. Maybe she's better at dirt. I mean, is Empire Maker a turf sire or a dirt sire? I mean, she's got dirt on both sides of her pedigree, so I'm not ruling it out. Like I like the first here in a G3 mile and a quarter. That's a distance indicator. However, that is on turf, which is different. I don't know how I feel about that. I, pedigree. I like the pedigree a lot. Honestly, if I don't find something I like in some of the farther posts, this one might be my pick to win here. I think she was at 5-2. Yes, 5-2. She might be my pick to win. Although honestly, I playing the through better value. We still have five more, six more, yeah, five more horses to go. Kinsey Queen, Greg Compton. That's not a name I'm familiar with, but Junior Alvarado, your Kentucky Derby winning jockey for 2025. I'd like to see it. Last race was a first place in allowance claiming. Let's see what we get with this horse. By Mineshaft. Okay. Mineshaft is probably like one of my more preferred AP Indy sire lines. I do like Mineshaft a lot. No reason. I don't think I have a reason for why I like Mineshaft maybe more than I like Honor Code. I mean, I don't know. McKinsey's always one of those sires I gotta stop and like check myself because McKinsey's. I do want to look at McKinsey real quick just to be sure I'm not reading this horse wrong. Like seeking the gold. Uh, Dixieland Band Street into Street Machiavellian Dixieland Band combo into Street Sense I like. I just want to see if I'm getting this horse, if I'm making the right read on this horse. Okay. Okay. I like what I'm seeing so far out of this. Bit of a late start, but I see a lot of wins. I see a lot of seconds. I see a lot of indicators that this horse can go the distance, and that's the main thing. Second place in the 2019 Breeders' Cup. I like to see that. Fell off a little bit toward the end. Really didn't like a couple of those races. Didn't do too hot in the Saudi Cup. Didn't do too hot in Churchill Downs. Interesting. Won the Pennsylvania Derby. That's always a race you can certainly win. On like the second tier level of derbies. Okay, yeah. McKenzie is a pretty good distance sire. I can see that. He's one of the ones I just don't keep in my mind often enough. Now I do want to look at this dam too. Was this erased? Okay, she has been raised. Not heavily, and not at tracks out Tampa, Churchill. Not good results. Maybe we see something in the Grand Dam that gives me no, a fifth. Oh, fifth in one start. Great Grand Dam? Nothing. Okay. Okay, we're back. Okay. All right, let's look at this actual horse's like results here. Okay. A second at a mile 70. That's at Indiana Downs though. Okay, this is Ellis Park. I do like to see that. Our speed figures are a little bit closer to what we're looking for in terms of like a winning horse. Been run a lot at a mile 16th. Her last four starts have been at a mile 16th. What I don't like to see is I don't like to see third, second, fifth, and that fifth being the Fantasy G2. And well, I can already see Running and Gunning was third in that race. She's been beaten before. Hang on. Sometimes typing is hard. Beaten before in class race. And I think a lower percentage trainer. Yes, I do believe that it was a lower percentage trainer. I mean, if I saw this horse in an allowance claiming, I would probably say, unless there's another horse like that's like graded stakes level, I would probably play her. But I don't. I'm seeing that the two class raises she was in. Now we do have to think of it. This was a muddy race at Oaklawn that she did finish fifth in. But when you're on fast start at Oaklawn at a mile 16th and you finish fifth, two horses that are already in this race, I think I'm going to bury this one. I do believe I will bury this horse. Not for a lack of pedigree or jockey. Like if Junior Alvarado gets this one into the winner's circle, I won't be that shocked. There are a lot of good jockeys. I think, yeah, pretty much I know every jockey on this list except maybe the Raw Mena, but I'm sure I will learn of him soon enough. Post number 6, Joe Rosario. I'm going to put that down. If I can spell. Like to see that. So let's see what we get with the horse. Oh, bred by Go. Okay, owned by Godolphin. I'm gonna write that down. Anytime Godolphin sends any horse, you gotta note the Godolphins if you like remember to note that. Godolphin is the powerhouse. City of Light. I think City of Light's a little underrated. I do want to see where Elusive Quality goes. That's another one of the sire lines I'm not as familiar with. I do want to see where Elusive Quality goes real quick. Okay, he's a prospector. He goes back to you see what I like here? So he goes back to Mr. Prospector from a Secretariat Dam into Gone West. I like that combination a lot. And Northern Dancer is on the other side of that pedigree. Okay. I think I like City of Light a lot more now, actually. I did not know that was his pedigree, so yeah, City of Light I really liked before. I really like him now. Stormcat on the other side of that pedigree. Those are like the three of the. Just want to follow this real quick. Oh yeah, so he's getting a double shot of Northern Dancer. Love to see that. I do want to follow this to here. Where does he follow up to? Okay, triple shot of Northern Dancer and more Secretariat. Okay, this pedigree's pretty fire. Let's see what we got for results. You see results over Liam in the Dust, so I feel more justified beating that horse by what's already here. A first and a second and a mile 16th, traveling too from Fairgrounds to Keeneland. What I don't like is seventh and a lower speed figure at a mile 70 yard in a higher stake race to California Sunset is a pretty good horse. I don't know if I like to see that though. I think I'm gonna bury this one too. I don't like the class raise for her. I do not like the class raise. I'm not seeing what I need to see to be like this is a horse that will compete at the class she is going to be at. Although I will say there's a lot to like about this, and I think I might put try consideration. I will put try consideration on here. Just to be safe. All right. Post 7. Irad Ortiz Jr. I'm a big fan of Irad Ortiz Jr. So write that down immediately. Not as familiar with the trainer, Brittany T. Russell. But I already see Curlin and that tells me that hopefully there is some more distance in this pedigree. Curlin is a really good route sire. Second favorite, it's not second favorite, second place in the Kentucky Derby this year was Journalism, and he's out of Curlin. Smart Strike, love Smart Strike. Curlin is probably the better of the Smart Strike sires, in my opinion. I like to see Giants Causeway on the dam side of the pedigree. Only 3 starts for this horse. Now, I don't like the fact that it's a second place at Laurel at a mile 16th. But what I think I like is familiarity with Maryland racing. The dirt's probably different in Pimlico, but like they're not that far apart from each other. So that is something I do like about this horse that I might consider her for trifecta. Lightly raced though. Also, something's not right here. Something's not right in the records because there's no way she could have done both of those races at the same time. It's just different track. Okay, for some reason somebody put this race in twice. I think I better Equibase this one. Equibase honestly is probably the better site to use. I like Horse Racing Nation just because I like looking at this more for some reason. Equibase, the green, it just kind of relaxes me a little bit too much. Feel like I'm not ready. Pimlico, I need Friday card. Ooh, are they running on Thursday? Did not know that. Should have been paying attention. Oh boy, 14 race card. Miss Preakness, Black-Eyed Susan. I wish I had access to like the. Oh crap! What are they called? I don't remember. I need entries, not nominations, please. Okay, so Colonial Downs, only 2 starts, second place and a first place. A bit of an unknown. Bit of an unknown here. I will try consideration because we don't know what this horse can do yet. Although I would lean towards caution. I do like what Irad could pull off. Honestly, I think any of these horses could probably do it. Like, this feels like one of those races where you could throw a dart at a board and you could probably find something with a good price and it might hit the board. I'm not sure. But well, we have two more posts to go. I think I will bury that horse for lack of a understanding. Who's owned by Rapol though? I feel like everybody played their really good cards Derby weekend. Amerith. Where am I? I'm gonna say this band name wrong. I'm on Amerith fans at. If you like Viking metal, Alan Amerith is where it's at. Uh, so let's see. This horse can beat some of the horses that are in this race. I already saw some results that showed me that. Can outplay some of these horses. I don't like that result at Fairgrounds at a mile 70 yards with a 6th. I don't like the 5th in the Ashland. I don't like the fact that she didn't like that class raise. But she did get beat by horses that were in the Oaks. She got beat by Lucara and Take Charge Milady. Both really, really good horses. This race feels slow. We have another McKinsey horse. And did I look at this horse already? I feel like I've seen this horse because I've commented on both Into Mischief as a sprinting sire and McKenzie like within like the last 10 minutes I just want to look at Criminal Mischief real quick. Who was just raised? Okay, she was raised. Never further than 7 furlough, though, which isn't helpful. Can I find some more promising results in the Grand Dam? No. Okay. Yeah. Let me go back one more. Not much I'm seeing here to inspire confidence. I should have checked the jockey again. Who the jockey is? Saez. Okay. Luis Saez is another one of those jockeys that's really freaking good. Love what he does. Love his work. This feels like we've put all the best jockeys on all the slowest horses. I'm just not seeing the class. I like the pedigree. I kind of like the pedigree. But I don't like the class for her. Honestly, I think the favorite is the play. Maybe the 4. So I really like the 4. But let's get into the final post. Post 9, Moon Cash. Catch. Okay, Maryland bred. Local. Interesting. Malibu Moon. APND. Danzing. Goes back to Danzing. The Warfront line. Arch. Who is Arch? What did he do? Oh, Chris S. Okay. Interesting. I do want to look at this horse real quick. Wow, that horse has some good distance. Really did not like the Breeders' Cup, but I don't think a lot of horses like that race. Okay. Chris S. was not something I was expecting to see today, but okay. All right, let's look at some results. Primarily raced at Laurel Park. Uh, 5th in a mile 16th, 1st in a mile 16th, 1st in a mile 16th. Pretty consistent the last few months. Did have that 5th at a mile. This was on turf. Okay, so we can kind of outrule that as an outlier because they tried her on turf. It didn't work. Only one finish outside of the top 3. Maryland bred. Honestly, do we go for the Cinderella story? Maybe we do. This would be a pretty big win for Maryland Racing, I think, if this horse were to hit the top 3. I think that would be pretty cool. One thing, this is the one jockey I'm not familiar with. I am not familiar with Raul Mena. I will be probably familiar with him by Friday rolls around, but that doesn't help me right now. I think the play here is, I think I'm going to keep her in try consideration. I like the pedigree. I like really interesting pedigree. I would want to put that down. It'd be cool to see the Maryland bred horse win the Maryland race because this is like the biggest filly race in Maryland. That would be very hype if that were to happen. And she can get a mile in a 16th. She's done it twice. She's hit the board like every time but once. Hang on, let me rephrase that. Every time she's run a mile and a 16th on dirt, she's hit the board. I think she could probably beat Reply. I think she could do it. Like, the only thing I don't maybe like is, well, I bet Reply was Maryland bred too. Let me check. I just didn't see it when I looked at him. No, she was bred in Kentucky. He was just raced at Laurel. Okay. Mooncash, though. I think Mooncash, that would be a great story if she were to get the win. I do think I will use her in the trifecta. I feel like that's a storyline that's going to manifest itself that maybe they won't talk about as much on the TV or on the stream, but I think this one's going to hit the board. Just I've got one of them gut feelings in me. Never outside the top 3. At distance on surface. Interesting race. So I'm going to be real. Interesting race. Typing and talking is hard at the same time. I could legit see any of these winning. With the talent of the jockey that is on each of these horses, this is truly a shuffle that I do not know how to sort through. I feel like the Preakness is going to be even bigger headache because we have horses coming off of the Derby. We have horses coming in that are kind of unknowns that we aren't sure how strong they are or how they measure up necessarily to some of these Derby horses. It's like Dwayne Lucas entered, not Caldera, opted for American Promise, who had just run the Derby 2 weeks ago, over Caldera. It's like I could easily tell you how Caldera is going to do. Caldera would be buried unless it rains. But he opted for American Promise, which I do like American Promise, but that's for a different video. I do want to handicap the Preakness Stakes, but that will be not this video. That will be a different one. So for my tentative trifecta, there's a lot of class raising here. I honestly kind of want to go back to the 1 a little bit. Like, the more I think about it, the 1 was pretty good compared to some of what I saw earlier. I think what I will do is I will take... Don't go against the favorite. Don't go against Pratt. Don't go against Flavian. And don't go against Brad Cox. So I think I will take the 3 to win. 9 for... I want to put 9 in the trifecta. I think a 3... I'm thinking 379. And I think if you want to go for the superfecta, I think the 6 is probably would be like my next choice. I feel like this is not a certified Dwayne Lucas moment. Not with that horse. I feel like Dwayne is going to win a couple races this weekend. I don't think he will win this one. I have a good feeling about some of his other horses, but I don't like this one. So yes, my pick for the Black Eyed Susan will be number 3. Number 3, Margie's Intention, followed by number 7, Reply, and for third place, number 9, Moon Cash. Thank you for watching. See you for the next race.